Welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List. Today, we are going to be talking Zack Snyder, preview the month of March, and recommend a couple movies as per usual.
The usual.
Yes, the usual. You know how the show works now, pretty much. Joining me, of course, Ryan Meyerberg. You had a challenge you posed to the fans last month.
Yes, I did.
You have another one here?
I do.
It's a video clip.
It is a video clip. So
It's a Jeopardy video.
yes, but before we get into that, I just want to say congratulations to Reed. He will be picking up his certificate today because I forgot it.
For a whole month.
For a whole month, I forgot it. So you'll get it today. Don't worry. So now for this next clip, a lot of people watched the Super Bowl this past 3 weeks now, whatever.
Something like that.
Like that. And you saw Tom Brady throwing the statue or the trophy. However, I did get another clip of this was taken right after the Super Bowl between Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. And yeah, we'll just we'll play the clip here in a second.
Yeah,
but if you can tell me,
check this scoop right here.
yeah,
If you have a milkshake,
Your boy's coming for you.
and I have a milkshake,
Let's go!
I have a straw. There it is. That's a straw, you see. Watching. And my straw reaches across the room and starts to drink your milkshake.
Big play!
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!
Don't bully me, Daniel!
Let's go! I'm throwing it quick. Hey, we ain't done, fellas!
So yeah, so what is the challenge? What's the gauntlet being thrown down here today?
all right. So for this episode, can you name what movie that's from, and what character played Tom Brady? And for that, I mean, anybody. I would love to play Tom Brady. That'd be sweet. But if you can get the character and what movie it's from, you'll win either a gift certificate for some cash money at the movie theater or a popcorn bucket. Their popcorn bucket bowl things. So whatever you prefer, you just let me know and be the first one to comment and with your answer, and you'll get the prize.
Sounds good. So yeah, you be the first ones to comment for that. Moving on from that, we are going into some of the big things that we're going to talk about here from this month. It was essentially our 1 year anniversary from the last March popcorn bucket list.
Before all the
obviously.
craziness and everything
Before all
happened.
the real craziest came in,
Yeah.
we recorded and posted episode about a week before SMSU spring break, which is really when everything went a little
Hit the
haywire.
fan. Hit the fan.
Yeah, some stuff hit the fan. So I went back, and some of it did not age well. Let's roll that now.
Big weekend with 4 films coming out. Vin Diesel's Bloodshot, The Hunt, My Spy, and I Still Believe. Now, if one of those posters looks familiar, My Spy, we actually talked about that movie in our Winter Spectacular. That one was supposed to come out in January. However, the release date got pushed here to March. So hopefully they don't make me look like a liar again and actually release the film this time. I was pretty embarrassed about that.
Yeah.
But the other one that
I did buy some Rammstein tickets for later in this summer, but I will have a new shirt for you next time. I was unable to gather one before this show, so.
So yeah, Ryan, how was that concert from the summer of 2020? If we can go back in time, man. If we can go back.
Yeah, I just want to go see a live band. It's been so long. I don't know if you've noticed, I've ran out of concert T-shirts to wear.
At this point, I'd watch Polka. If it was a
Oh,
live outdoor
my
concert.
whole step family are polka bands. Larry Olson, polka band. Check them out. They're great. If you love polka, Polka Fest every year in Lake Benton. Check it out. It's
I
awesome.
can't tell if you're joking.
Oh, no. Polka music is fantastic. We can do a whole deep dive on it another time.
I didn't know he knew a polka band.
I do. I love polka. I love polka music.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, that just ruined my sarcastic comment and just totally killed all my momentum there. But
you're good. You're good.
one of the other things was we talked about My Spy, and at that point in the show, it had been postponed, I think, around 2 other times at that point. I think we had previewed that particular movie at least twice up till that point. Mm-hmm. And then it was finally going to come out. Everything seemed like it was on track. And then, no. And then they kept like, oh, they kept trying to wait because they wanted to release it around the same time that new James Bond was coming out. They wanted to do a double spy thing.
Yeah.
And they were trying to keep aiming for that. Well, nobody ever knew when James Bond was coming out, and that kept getting pushed back. So finally, they're like, we'll just put it on Amazon.
See, that was the low key get ready for movies to be pushed back, because that rarely happened to us right away.
Yeah.
But now it's like every month there's a handful.
That was the other weird thing, is that movie kept getting pushed back even before any of this happened.
Yeah, before
there was
all
like
the
other issues
the Rona
that kept pushing it and everything. I don't even remember what it was, but yeah, it just kept getting moved, and finally came out. So
yeah, it is what it is.
But let's talk about one of the bigger news stories that we're going to talk about here. One of the biggest movies that is coming out, and we'll mention this in the preview once again, but the Snyder Cut. We have mentioned this movie a few times before. It's been a long road to get to here. So we thought we would take a moment here and just kind of run through some of the timeline of how we got to Zack Snyder's Justice League, despite the fact that there is a Justice League movie out there. It's a little confusing.
It is.
So let's run it down for you a little bit here. Basically, this whole story begins at the dawn of time. I'm kidding. April 2016, Justice League began filming with director Zack Snyder. This was right around the same time Batman v Superman came out. At this point, the DCEU had really started going. They had started talking about their plans for the Justice League. It was going to be a 2-part movie. No, it wasn't going to be a 2-part movie, but we knew we were going to get a Justice League movie with Zack Snyder directing. And by December of that same year, all the principal photography had wrapped. So they pretty much filmed everything at that point, pending reshoots. We'll get more into that later on, trust me. So then early 2017, Warner Brothers decided they wanted to make this mandate that all, I can't remember if it was all movies or just mainly the superhero movies, had to be around 2-hour runtime.
Yep.
For those of you who know Zack Snyder out there,
that's a pipe dream.
Yeah, pretty much. He is a long-winded storyteller. Mm-hmm. I can't wait till he's an old man and telling like you thought your grandparents told a long story. My God,
yeah,
it's gonna be.
And there is a time and a place for that. I enjoy long stories, long films. I enjoy those, but there is a time and a place for them. I will say that.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of on the opposite end of that spectrum. I'm more of a stickler for the runtime. I'm not saying that I think all studios should make it some
mandatory.
Sort of mandate. I don't necessarily
agree
with that, but I think it should be up to the directors and the writers to try and get it. Because it really, about 2 hours is about where you have me. If you're going to go longer than that, you gotta earn that with me. I can't tell you how many movies that have gone from I really liked to just because of the
just because how long it is.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you haven't watched Lord of the Rings yet.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably one of the reasons why. It's taken me like 3 tries to sit down and watch Godfather all the way through. I finally did it, though. That was a marathon. But yeah, so again, at this point they had said, your movie's got to be around 2 hours. Well, around this time, it was being rumored about what the runtime of Zack Snyder's original Justice League was. At first, it was like, well, it's going to be about 2.5 hours. We might have to. And then some reports were like, okay, it's going to be closer to 3. And then a little bit later, I was like, no, it's pushing 3 hours. It's way beyond 3 hours. And so it didn't really matter what it was. Mm-hmm. Either way, it wasn't going to make this mandate that Warner Brothers had set.
Yep.
So time for reshoots. Now, reshoots oftentimes are considered like a bad word in Hollywood to some people, but they really happen a lot more common than people think.
They're actually very common.
Yeah.
People just when you hear reshoot, it's what they shot wasn't good enough, or it's terrible. No, it's just there might be small things that just need to be tweaked. Yeah. Maybe a couple of lines, couple of gestures even, and it's just that qualifies to be reshot.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is synonymous with some bad experiences. So around this same time, Joss Whedon, who was at the time, we don't have enough time to get into what Joss Whedon's been talked about recently.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
save that for
Also,
another episode.
that came out like what, a week ago too?
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
2 weeks ago.
We're still getting through that. That's a whole other discussion. But at the time, he was most famous for being the guy who kind of helmed the Avengers movie. So what better guy to help your superhero team up movie than the guy who did it the best first?
Yes.
Originally, he was only brought in a writing position. And then, unfortunately, this is where the story really took a bad turn. March 2017, Zack Snyder's daughter died from unfortunate suicide. And so at first I had heard he'd kind of left the project, but then kind of re-looking into this, he tried to stay on just to kind of distract himself for about a month, actually. And then he finally, it was just too much. He had to step away from the project.
Yep.
So now Joss Whedon came in, took over some of the directing roles. Now this again was another part of the story where there was so many stories and rumors as to how much was reshot. First, people were saying like, "Oh, Joss only reshot about 10% of the movie. They just cut a bunch of stuff." And then it was like, "Well, it's about a 50-50.
Maybe a little bit more, yeah."
If you were to believe some rumors, the Justice League cut that came out in 2018 was about 90% Joss Whedon reshoots.
Yep.
Again, there's nothing really to authenticate that. But
Not yet, at least.
Yeah, probably 10 years.
We'll never. Yeah,
10
we'll
years from now,
never
there's gonna
know
be a
the
documentary
truth.
tell-all or something like that. But, or I wouldn't be surprised in this Zack Snyder's Justice League. There's going to be like a little disclaimer being like, "This is what I shot.
This is
what he shot.
Yeah, this is
what
my
I
movie.
shot
Yeah.
at this point." But anyway, March 2018, Justice League is finally released to theaters to mixed reviews and lukewarm box office.
Yep.
So some people would say, all right, we kind of stumbled with this. Let's just move on. Well, then there was rumors about the Snyder Cut.
Yep.
And this is something we've talked about on the show before. People who are saying, release the Snyder Cut. And other people who are like, the Snyder Cut could not exist.
It
does
real.
not exist.
It's not real.
And that's just practical. For it to exist, they would have to have put in a whole bunch of more money into digital effects and all this other stuff. Well, then, finally, Jason Momoa, I can't remember if he was promoting Aquaman or something like that, but somebody brought up to him, "What do you think about the Snyder Cut?" And he goes, "Oh, I've seen it."
Yes. Yeah, he did say, "Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's great, right?" Yeah, and it's like
What he meant was he has seen an unfinished version of the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Which is basically, if you see those behind the scenes things, you see those huge green screen rooms.
Yeah.
He's seen the actors in those green screen rooms with no digital effects.
Yeah.
But the movement then really, really gained traction. And people for years, essentially, because again, this is 2018, end of 2018, about when this is really starting with the release of the Snyder Cut movement. It wasn't until May 2020 that finally it was revealed that the Snyder Cut will release on HBO Max. So now we get into, again, what we've talked about before is they were going to have to put some more money into it. And what ended up being, by most reports, is Warner Brothers put in an additional $70 million budget to make the reshoots. There was even more reshoots they had to do because I think there was still some stuff they had to. There was still going to have to be reshoots regardless. If Zack Snyder was going to be on or not.
Yeah.
The reshoots Joss Whedon did were basically just to rewrite the story so they could make the 2 hours.
Yep.
The reshoots that Zack Snyder did totally are for his story, which is 4 hours long.
And it's way different.
Way different. Already from the few clips we have seen, just Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder, from creative standpoints, as far as their color and tone, are just so polar opposite.
And when you see the bad guy,
Steppenwolf was the bad guy in the original Justice League. This one is actually going to introduce Darkseid.
Yeah, and like he might not even be like the main bad guy.
Yeah,
and he looks. I mean, granted, he looks similar, but he looks way different.
Yeah,
and it's like
they added more spikes to Steppenwolf.
It's
basically.
more spiky.
But for those of you who don't know, Darkseid is basically DC's version of Thanos. Kind of is like, kind of. He doesn't want to just kill half the world. He wants to control all the
I just can't
universe.
snap.
Yeah. There we go. Here, you do the motion, and I'll be on your
All right,
camera,
ready?
and then I'll do it in mine, and we'll take my audio, and then we'll trick everyone. Ready? Oh, no, okay. Well, we'll try.
Close
next
enough.
time. Anyway.
Gotcha.
We nailed it.
Got him.
But one of the biggest things I learned kind of looking into this that I just as a disclaimer, I don't know if there's a single Zack Snyder film I like. Just there's something about his style that doesn't resonate with me. I don't know what it is. But he's one of my most respected filmmakers because when you see a Zack Snyder film, you are seeing a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah.
This one will be the most true of that because that $70 million extra budget that Warner Brothers put into this, none of that is going to Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
He is getting no salary from this. He's getting no pay. He essentially traded. He's like, you don't have to pay me, but I get 100% creative control.
Yep. I want my vision of this.
So when you see the official title being Zack Snyder's Justice League, at first when I saw that seemed pretty egotistical.
Centric, yeah.
Yeah. But when you kind of read that, it's this is his story. This is his visual. This is him. Everything on this screen, is his idea.
Yep.
Whereas with the original Justice League, half the time when I'm watching that, I'm like, okay, so is that Zack or that's definitely Joss. That's definitely Zack. That's
Yep. And you could see that. Yeah. Yep.
yeah. So that is kind of where we're at now. I feel like my track record of not liking Zack Snyder's movies is going to continue here, but I really want him to prove me wrong.
Yeah. I like I said, it'll be fun. It's going to be a fun new look at an existing story. If that I shouldn't say story, a new look, new take on an existing film.
Yep.
Where you'll be watching, and I guarantee they'll be like, that was in the last one, and they'll be like, oh, that's totally new, and that's really cool. And there'll probably be some. It's terrible.
Yeah. But 4-hour runtime. Oh,
Yeah, I'm amped. I
that's gonna
don't know
That's gonna be a marathon.
for sure. Have they said if they're doing HBO Max in tandem with theaters or just
I believe
HBO?
it is straight HBO.
Yeah, because that's another thing maybe we'll cover later down the road. HBO, or I should say Warner Brothers, and the theaters. Some of them are clashing now. So yeah, who knows?
Well, and in fairness, this announcement was made pretty early on in the COVID pandemic. I would say May is still early enough where we're like, we didn't know how long this was going to
Yeah.
go.
2
we didn't know
weeks.
how this was going to
2
affect
weeks.
this. Yeah, we were like, oh, we'll be back together by 4th of July or something
Yeah.
like that. Oh, man, we were naive back
We
then.
were naive.
But so they had announced this was going to go straight to HBO Max from the get-go. So I think that has to do part of it. The other part is I don't think it wouldn't be really responsible in this time to make people sit in a crowded room for 4 hours.
That's true.
So they're probably just going to stick with it being a straight to streaming thing. But with that, let's move on to what else is going on here in the month of March. We got quite a few here, a little bit of everything. Coming out March 4th, which is a Thursday. This is I believe the first Paramount Plus, which is the latest streaming service. I think a lot of people saw them. They had a big presence in the Super Bowl.
Yes,
because
they did.
they are CBS. CBS is like part of Paramount Plus.
I really liked their commercials where some of their big stars are just walking up to the mountain.
Yep.
And then I do remember I turned to Nate and I said, because there was one scene where the stadium was just at the bottom of the mountain with the Paramount background, and I said, wow, that's a beautiful stadium with some beautiful scenery. And like the people I was watching with, I don't think that they were like, oh, that's the Paramount mountain, because it didn't have the stars over it.
Yep.
But I could tell because I've seen it a million
So
times.
you were being sarcastic.
Yeah, I was being
but they didn't know
sarcastic,
you were
and
being
they were just like,
sarcastic.
oh, yeah, cool. Like, okay, you didn't get it. Never mind.
Yeah, let's just move on from that. But their first foray into film streaming is the Spongebob movie, Sponge on the Run. I believe this is essentially like the third or fourth theatrical SpongeBob movie. It has to do with his pet Gary has run away, and so now the gang has to help and find Gary.
Find
They're
him.
on the run. Gotta find him.
Sponge on the run.
But yeah, I believe that will be a Paramount Plus streaming side-by-side theater release. That's where a lot of these streaming services are doing. So that will be in the theaters as well. But that first Friday, March 5th, is kind of the big weekend here. We got quite a few to talk about, some interesting ones. Let's start by talking about Chaos Walking. I believe correctly,
I've never seen a girl before.
this is a movie. That is so out of context to anyone who's never seen the trailer before. But this is a movie you had told me about years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Talk a little bit about this.
I was reading an article, something about Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley, also known as Ray. Those two were in a movie kind of before they were big stars. Like, I don't know if they shot or they signed or whatever, but it was kind of before the Star Wars.
This is pre-Spider-Man.
Pre-Star Wars. And I just remember reading about it, and then this trailer for or news or something about Chaos Walking came out, and I'm like, well, tickle me pink. I think this is the movie they're talking about. And it's in the trailer, he goes, I've never seen a girl before. And it just, in his mind, to dust. And I'm excited. I don't know.
So, yeah, it's kind of, basically Daisy Ridley is this girl who's like the first girl to stumble upon this.
On this
like,
planet. Planet or area, I guess.
I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was a post-apocalyptic vibe.
I don't know. And they have like this like stuff. Like your energy is up here.
Yeah,
and
that's the other thing is the men can like see each other's thoughts.
Yeah, and
but
hear.
They can't. Yeah, see and hear, but the men can't see women's thoughts in this world.
And that's why he says, "I've never seen a girl before." It just makes me laugh every time I see it. And also, is it one of the J Bros in there?
Yeah, Nick Jonas is in it. Yeah,
one
Nick
of the
Jonas
J
is in
Bros.
it. Yep.
I remember I showed the trailer to Jessa, and she just was like, "Oh yeah, J Bros, they're sweet." She really likes them.
But yeah, that's one of the movies coming out here. We'll have to see how that one does.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was one that like you said, they had made it how many years ago, but just kind of shelved it.
Yeah, and it has some. I mean, it's got star power to it, but it's kind of before they were stars, and it's. I don't know. It's just hard to pick up a reading of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. But also coming out that same weekend, this I think is a straight Amazon Prime. I don't believe they're doing a side-by-side theater with this one. But coming to America. Got to add that little 2 in there. But
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I actually... Okay, so yeah, for those of you out there who don't know, this is the sequel to Coming to T.O. America, the Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall 80s hit. I got to be honest, the trailer isn't the funniest thing I've ever seen. There's not a lot of jokes that they show in this trailer.
Yeah.
However, the star power in the cast,
yes.
Just Eddie, if you can get good Eddie Murphy, if we can get some prime Eddie Murphy, this movie will be good.
Yeah. And you know, what's the last thing Eddie Murphy was in?
He was in a small movie called Mr. Church like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But that was like the first thing.
Yeah.
To your point, that was like the first thing in a decade.
He's taken a while off.
Yeah.
You know? And like I said, he is a very funny person. Mm-hmm. And like the trailer might be lacking a little, but I think the actual movie is going to be really funny.
Yep.
And I'm excited to see it. I remember watching the Coming to America when I was probably younger than I should have been when I watched it, and I thought it was great. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, this hopefully will be, again, you just want to see someone like Eddie Murphy succeed.
You do.
From everything he did in the 80s, like he's one of the most, I don't know if I can think of a star more synonymous with a decade than Eddie Murphy in the 80s, I don't think. Other stars, like they have their rises and falls and they kind of pop back up in certain decades, but the 80s was his.
It was his.
He took it by the horns. And but also coming out that same weekend, this is a Disney Plus side-by-side theater release, Rhea and the Last Dragon. This is a Disney animated movie. Talking about uniting the world, colonies at war. There's a dragon involved. I gotta be honest, this is another one that I just saw the trailers for it and it just didn't.
Yeah.
It's weird because ever since Disney's acquired Pixar, it almost seems like they've been doing this back and forth thing where they'll pump out all these ideas and they'll like alternate who gets the good ones and who gets the bad ones. Mm-hmm. It was like, all right, Pixar got Soul last year, so Disney, you get this.
You
one.
get Ray.
Let's see, 1 year Disney animated got Zootopia, and then Pixar got Cars 3 or something like that. It just it feels like they've been doing this alternating thing, and it's like the same animation. Just put them all under the same.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
It'll be
They've surprised me
interesting.
before.
I'm sure I'm gonna watch it with Luke.
Yep.
So it'll be all right.
Yep. But if a kids movie is not your speed and you want something a little bit more intense, also again same weekend, a movie. Did your phone go off again?
Correct.
I better make sure my phone's on silent.
Yeah, I should probably do that too.
You said you'd silence.
Well,
This is the second month in a row.
buzzed. It just buzzed. It didn't.
I'm just a little buzzed off, sir.
Yeah,
It's nothing.
I'm just
Nothing. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I'm talking about an action movie. I'm talking about Boss Level. This is a Hulu release.
Ooh. My phone went off last week, and it went off this week. It's almost like it's repeating itself.
That was what I was going to say. Yeah. So this is another time loop movie. Are we in a time loop? Because we were just talking about a time loop last month as well.
Yeah, I think, I don't even know, maybe Happy Death Day, maybe Groundhog Day. Just like in a certain amount of people's minds, it said, you need to make a time loop movie. Mm-hmm. And now all these people are older and they're making time loop movies. And it's just going to keep happening.
Well, and we talked about last month how time loop movies are nothing new, but usually it's been pretty spaced out. But here it just kind of seems like we're just trying to hit every genre with it.
Because
Happy Death Day was horror. I wouldn't say hard horror. It was a little scary.
Yeah.
Little scary. Not too bad. But and then last month's the one with
Incredible Tiny Small Things from Around the World or something like that, right? All the incredible tiny little small things.
It was like Map of Tiny Perfect Things, something like that.
Something like that.
That was like the love story time loop.
Yeah.
This is the action movie time loop.
This is the action. Yeah. I do want to see it for the action though. The action looks awesome. Yep. Frank Grillo. Who is
best known from Captain America: Winter Soldier and Captain America: Civil War. You've probably seen him from those movies.
Yeah. He looks good. Buff, strong. Yeah. Looks
like a guy who could actually win in a fight.
Yeah.
Not just stunt fight.
Yeah. And the action sequences, some of them are cool. It almost has that, I don't know, Fast and the Furious look a little bit to it when with the cars and then the crashing and, I woke up because I crashed my car, but it's the same day. So, I don't know. It'll be fun.
Yep.
There's a machete fight scene in there. That's cool.
He dodges a helicopter blade. Or no, he throws a knife at a helicopter.
He throws a knife at a
and
helicopter.
Takes it down because he's just thrown it at the helicopter.
Yeah, it's like me in Warzone. I use throwing knives to take down helicopters all the time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want a dub, hit me up. We'll play. That's all I do is win. No matter what.
You know, I'm glad I got the mixer now because if I really want to, I could just mute you. If I want.
No.
But moving on to March 12th, this is the next weekend. We got a couple here. One is just called Cherry. This is an Apple Plus TV release. This one is a double dose of Tom Holland. We're seeing him again in a gritty sort of look. I remember this one. The thing I think I remember most about this movie is when they first released the poster, people were like, what is this movie? And not in a good way.
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes when you hear people talk, they're like, what is this movie? Like curiosity.
Like,
people
whoa.
are like, what?
Whoa.
I had to zoom in. It took me like 10 minutes just to find the title, I think, because I couldn't tell where they had placed it.
Yeah.
It was so red and everything. But
to be honest, when I watch the trailer, when I see the poster, it reminds me of those commercials from like maybe 2 years ago where it shows whatever and then it goes shot on iPhone. By the person that whenever I think because I hear Apple Plus Cherry shot on
any
iPhone.
Studio would do it.
Yeah,
it would be
that's I want to say that, but
yeah.
I don't think it was shot on iPhone.
Could have been. I don't know.
Who knows?
Also coming out that same weekend is a Netflix release, Yes Day. This is a family comedy where basically there's this trend going around where for 24 hours, the parents of kids have to say yes to everything. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Look, maybe I'm just getting more older and cynical. It just seems like a terrible idea.
It does. It does. I know. Yeah. Watching the trailer, I think I checked out about 15 seconds in. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, they're doing a water balloon fight.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Here's the thing about the trailer. So they try to establish that the parents say no to everything. And they're playing this like montage of all these quick like parents saying no.
No, you can't drink bleach.
Yeah. If you watch the trailer and watch the things they're saying no to, some of them are like life and death.
Yeah.
They're trying to portray them as like again, maybe the kid in me is just dying now, but like I'm sympathizing with the parents in this movie.
Yeah.
What has happened to me?
Yeah, it's wild.
But
whatever.
Yeah, it's a family comedy,
Yeah.
so
And
enjoy that one.
The guy looks pretty cool. He reminds me of Mark Ruffalo.
Which is ironic because the mom character is Jennifer Gardner.
Yeah.
So 13 going on 30 there.
Ooh.
Would have been nice if they would have gotten him.
That would have been pretty sweet. I probably would have watched. Well, probably would have watched it then. At least watch the trailer.
at least paid a little bit more attention to the trailer.
I would pay attention.
Yeah. And so then the next big release is March 18th. That is a Thursday, and that is when Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out. We've already talked about this movie. Get ready for the 4 hour.
I'm amped.
I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm gonna split it into two maybe.
I can't wait. At first, when they talked about releasing this, I remember they said like, "Oh, we'll do it in 2 parts or 3 parts."
Oh yeah.
And then I was kind of
at one point it was a mini series.
Yeah, and it was like, that's cool and all. It's a cool idea. However, if let's say he has the Snyder cut done. Now, you want to make that into a 3-part miniseries, you kind of have to get those cliffhangers at the end, or, you have to be able to wrap that episode up and open up the other episode, where in films, you don't do that. It's beginning to end. But with miniseries, TV episodes, you have the opening and the ending, and then how you open and end the next. So, like, I didn't really want that to happen when I first heard it. It was like, okay, as long as we get it. But now 4-hour whatever movie, I'm fine with
Can
that.
we
I'm
split
cool.
it into 2 parts? I don't know.
I'm gonna get my big gulp soda.
I don't want to spend too much more time talking about this movie. But one thing I just thought of is I think it's gonna be interesting to compare how audience resonate with this one 4-hour sitting compared to like what Disney Plus and Marvel is doing right now, and Star Wars. They're doing a lot of these miniseries where you could essentially say WandaVision, its 9-episode arc
is an 8-hour long.
I don't even know if it'd be that long. It'd be
they're
like
pretty short. Probably like
most
6,
of them are about
7.
Yeah, most of them are about 20, 30-ish minutes. Some of them push that. But yeah, it is going to be interesting to compare that, I think, that experience especially. But coming out that next day, March 19th, that Friday, one of the movies coming out is The Courier. I believe I'm saying that right. The Courier. Courier?
Courier? I don't know.
It's got an O in it. I don't know why it's like
Yeah.
But anyways, this is Benedict Cumberbatch coming back
Looks
again.
awesome.
We talked about him last month as well. He plays a regular salesman living in England.
Just a regular sales guy.
Just a regular sales guy.
Trying to make my money.
Are you going to try and do a British accent the whole time we're talking about this movie? Because if so, I'm just going to skip. Or I'll just mute you.
No. I don't know if I could do a British accent.
Let's not try.
Hello.
I don't want to. That's. You sound like you're from London.
Cheerio.
But anyway, so he's a regular salesman in London, and he's recruited by British intelligence to try and infiltrate Russia. Oh, and by the way, it's set during the Cold War. So as if trying to infiltrate Russia wasn't bad enough.
Yeah, it's like a Cold War drama thriller.
I got a very Bridge of Spies vibe from it, that Tom Hanks movie.
Yep, and I really want to see it. I think it's going to be good. I like Benedict Cumberbatch. He's a fantastic actor.
Name one movie he's bad in. I think he's another one of those that even if he's in bad movies, he's not bad in them.
Yeah. But that's a good point.
So yeah, also then coming out the next week, March 26th. This was originally slated for April, and they pushed it forward a couple weeks. because I think they saw kind of an open weekend there. There wasn't anything really coming out in theaters. And so, and we'll also talk about the next movie that I think would have probably overshadowed its box office. But March 26th is the movie Nobody, played by one of the least nobodies in Hollywood, Bob Odenkirk, who is best known for Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul fame, as well as many other movies and TV shows. This is an action thriller. It's basically John Wick.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. I can't wait to see this.
Yep.
I like Bob Odenkirk, and I like the right away when the burglar breaks into his house in the trailer, and like he was gonna like smash their head in, and then he didn't, and then all of his friends, he didn't even hit him. I would have punched him. I would have fought. Like everybody's just giving him crap, and then you see the rest of the trailer, and he's just going to town.
That's the other thing we should mention is Bob Odenkirk. At the beginning of this trailer, looks like he just plays.
Looks like nobody.
Yeah, he lives in a suburban household, suburban family.
A normal salesman.
Normal salesman. He might be a salesman. I don't even know what he is. But turns out he was like ex-CIA or something like that. And he's like super trained and everything.
Yeah.
And so he goes on a revenge thing.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's CIA. I think he used to work for like a drug lord.
Oh, was a drug lord?
Or like he used to work for the bad guys.
I just always assume it's CIA at this point.
Well, they're the same thing, so I mean, it does.
Finally coming out March 31st. This is one of the big ones.
The big one.
I'm actually
Or is it two big ones?
I'm actually maybe looking forward to this more than I am Zack Snyder's Justice League. But it's Godzilla versus Kong, baby. The fight of the century.
Now, but do you really think it's those two fighting each other?
Oh, the trailer shows them fighting.
Yeah, but if you look at it, they're fighting in like one place. And then somehow he gets that magical axe thing.
If he fights him once, I'll be fine with it.
Okay.
At this point.
My professional speculation is
that was
they're
way
going
too
to team up.
Sophisticated of a word for what you're,
they're going to team up and they're going to fight.
Spew.
They're going to fight either the Hydra or probably not Mothra, but
I was going to say
one of
was Mothra in the last Godzilla one? I didn't see
no
the
idea.
Last Godzilla one.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Here's the thing. I'm so excited for this movie, yet I don't know if I've liked any of the ones previous. Godzilla was fine.
How do you not like Godzilla?
Godzilla
there's
was
like
fine.
19. Have you seen all of them?
I'm talking about this new, this current,
the one with
the one that started with
Bryan Cranston, and he was in there for like 10 minutes, and then he dominated the trailer.
And then his son, who plays Quicksilver in the MCU, who's married to the girl who plays Scarlet Witch, by the way, which was awkward at the time. Yeah, but like they like take over. But yeah, I don't know if I've really liked any of the movies leading up to this. Godzilla was fine. Kong Skull Islands was fine. I didn't even see Godzilla Attack of the Titans or whatever, King of the Monsters. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's gonna be good.
Godzilla shooting his atomic breath at a gorilla. I want to see him defend that.
It's gonna be great.
But yeah, that is. In case I forgot to mention that was a Warner Brothers property, so that will be an HBO Max side by side with theater. So this one will be going out in theaters as well. Yep. Which, again, if you feel safe and if the guidelines are set, I would recommend doing that because these are the types of movies that are
you want to see in the movie theater. Yep.
Speaking of the movie theaters, the Marshall 6 Theater is again still up and running. Currently
going strong, baby.
Yep. They've been providing some entertainment for people here in the town. Limited hours, limited days mainly. They still have their Tuesdays $5 movie day.
Yep. Free popcorn with a drink or an icy or water or whatever.
Yep. And then they also have weekend show times, usually running from Friday through Sunday. But yeah, that is some things to check out here in the local Marshall 6 movie theater. Be sure to check out your own theaters in your own area and see what sort of guidelines, what sort of things they have to represent. And with that, we're going to have to cut this show a little bit short here today. Thank you for joining us here on Popcorn Bucket List. Once again, check out the CEC website for showtimes. And be sure to leave your comment answering Ryan's little puzzle, as well as leave your own recommendations. We didn't get to that today, unfortunately. So tell us what you've been watching. For myself and Ryan Meyerberg, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at the movies.